So you started creating content and you're looking to bag some really cool brand deals because you firstly want to sustain your creator career. Basically, the revenue that you make from brand deals will help you with your day-to-day expenses. Secondly, you want your creator career also to move ahead in the sense that you get noticed by big brands and eventually you do bigger, better, fancier brand deals. So if you're looking to get your first brand deal, or if you already have done brand deals but you want the next level, you want to step up and get really high paying brand deals, valuable brand deals which pay you in lakhs and stuff, then you have clicked on the right video. So before we get started, why should you listen to me? I'll give you two reasons. Firstly, I started my creator journey last year in March, and within the first 8 months, I managed to grow an account from 0 to 100k. Now 100k might be, big-ish. You might think that's, you've seen a lot of people do that. I'll tell you, I did it speaking in my regional language, which is Tamil. Secondly, I did it speaking about a very niche sport called Formula One. I know Formula One is right now mainstream, popular, all of that, but still it is, in the grand scheme of things, very niche sport. So I grew this account talking about just Formula One in Tamil. And for context, the biggest account that talks about Formula One in India is around 180, 190k followers. So to have a regional account reach 100k, that's a big deal. I think so. It was a lot of hard work. Now, the second more important reason why you should listen to me is because I worked for Meta. I joined in the year 2021. I was one of the first program managers for Instagram Reels when the Reels feature was launched in India. And then after a few reorganizations, I went on to work with a bunch of creators in the creator partnerships team. And I have helped a lot of creators grow their account. I've done a lot of deep dives and figured out white spaces where the creators can utilize and grow their audience. All of that, I've done that. So yes, I do have a fair bit of understanding of the platforms, how the algorithms work, and I've been watching this ecosystem grow from the platform side of things for the last 4 years. So I do bring in a little bit of expertise in this region. So yes, now before we talk about how to get a brand deal, I do want to talk about why do brands want to work with creators. See, all brands are the same. I know brands won't agree to that statement, but when a brand wants to work with a creator, they are looking for only one thing, and that is sales, nothing else, right? They might have campaigns that are awareness-based campaigns. They might say that, oh, we don't want you to focus on sales, we just want our brand to be out there. All of that, yes, there might be exceptions in a campaign level, but in the end of the day, if a brand is working with a creator, they are looking to make a sale. Let me break down a myth to you, okay? A lot of people look at a lot of big creators working with some fancy cool brands and they think, oh, these brands are looking to go after these big creators who have achieved so much. That is actually not the case. The brands aren't looking to work with the creator. They're not chasing the creator, they're actually chasing the creator's audience. Okay, there is a big difference in that. Like I mentioned, if a brand's end goal is sales, they are looking at what kind of creator can drive the maximum sale for them. Every brand is given a budget for a campaign, and the essence of every campaign is, how can I make the most sales by spending the least amount of money on creators? So how do we stand out as a creator and how do we attract brands and get them to work with us? So every brand is basically looking for two things. So what are these two things? First is relevance, and the second thing is your aesthetic and vibe. So you might ask this question, what about follower count? See, in most cases, your follower count doesn't directly affect your ability to get brands. Even if you are less than 1,000 followers, you will figure out a way. It might be slightly harder, but yes, you can figure out a way to work with brands. But what is more important is your relevance. So in the ecosystem and from a brand's point of view, what does it mean to be relevant? It's not about being in the newspaper articles, or it's not about being the talk of the industry. That's not what this kind of relevance mean. From a brand's point of view, is your audience the right people to advertise to? For example, if you are like me and you create content on sports, maybe a skincare product isn't the right fit for my profile, right? It's the same. So if you are going to be creating content that is in a particular genre or a niche, your audience will follow you for that genre. So from a brand's point of view, you need to be relevant to them to put in the effort of working with you. Now, how do you accumulate the right kind of audience that the brand wants to sell to, right? Let me explain this with an example. Let's say you want to work with a lot of makeup and beauty brands, right? Which means you have to accumulate follower base or a community that loves to do makeup and look at makeup tutorials, right? But nobody opens Instagram to look at makeup tutorials. They open it to get entertained, and you have to find the balance of making sure these are the right target audience that follows you. One thing that you can do to understand who the right relevant audience for your own Instagram profile is by making a persona out of the brands that you want to work with and who are the right people that would fit that brand. Like for example, if you want to do a lot of beauty and makeup products, you can make a persona who is a corporate girly, who is into now fashion, who is into makeup, who's also into vacationing, travel. She's also into cafes and food. So now once you have figured out a persona of this girl, this corporate girly, then you can maybe build content around this corporate girly, right? You can talk about your get ready with me and your daily fit. You can also talk about no makeup or corporate makeup, or let us say if what is a right makeup for a formal attire versus a traditional attire. You can also talk about vacation spots, because every corporate person at this point is looking for a break and is looking for some place to go chill, travel, which includes your cafes as well, right? So the minute you start making content which fits this persona, this kind of a corporate person who would be interested in this kind of a profile, you start accumulating an audience that has the purchasing power. And when you do a brand deal, they are the most targeted audience for that brand as well. So it is very relevant for the brand to work with you, because your audience is exactly what the brand is looking for. I have seen a lot of creators start off doing what they love, which is some skits and with their boyfriend or with their girlfriend. They love doing stand-up routines, they love making skits that are funny, but they grow because they are funny and really talented and they can execute a skit really well, or they can edit really well. They grow so fast and they hit 200, 300k, and then they rarely get brand deals, and they have this feeling where I have grown so much, but it has not given me any monetary value, right? So starting off, don't focus so much on growing your follower count. Don't focus on going viral. Start accumulating an audience where brands can sell to. You might follow that up with another question, which is, but I am not big enough right now. You did mention, Anderson, that you can start getting brand deals in less than 1,000 followers also. So yes, how does that work? Now, that brings me to the second point that we spoke about, which is your aesthetic and vibe, right? I've put both of this together because they are sort of the same thing. I'm not talking about your profile grid here. I'm not even talking about how posh your grid looks, right? Aesthetic and the vibe has a very different meaning to a brand. See, all brands are starting out with sales in mind, right? If sales is what matters, then technically all brands should be working with the biggest of creators because they have the biggest following size, right? No, that's not how it works. So influencer marketing or brand collaborations, paid partnerships have this aspect of a UGC vibe, which is user generated content, right? See, these brands pay a certain amount of money to a creator and get an asset, a user generated content kind of an asset, and then they invest their own dollars or rupees to run ads with that piece of content. This is called performance marketing. A performance marketing campaign looks like this. a brand reaches out to a creator, doesn't matter what follower count it is, they make a script, they tell them, okay, this is the kind of video that we want, and the creator gives that video to the brand, and then the brand puts money in that video and run sales campaigns, and that's how they make money. For a minute, I want you to think from the brand's POV. See, branding in itself is a huge industry. People study to become a brand manager, right? There is a lot of design elements involved, there is a lot of aesthetics and testing involved, and branding basically is a very difficult job. Brands give so much of attention to detail to how their logo is placed, there is brand guidelines and so on and so forth, right? Now imagine, as a brand owner, you've taken your most precious thing, which is the branding and positioning of your brand, and you've given it to a stranger on the internet to make content and make an ad. Now the brand is going to think really hard about who they want to work with. Does the aesthetics and the vibe match? And does their product look good in your profile? Now that's what I mean by aesthetics, right? It's not whether your profile looks good or not. It is about whether the brand's product would look good featured in your profile, if that makes sense. Let me explain this with an example. Let's say you're doing a reel for a skincare brand, right? So you are planning to highlight the product using a get ready with me format of video. The aesthetics that you go for, how you present the product, is the product visible? Did you do a good job of shooting B-roll content to show how good your product looks? Did the packaging get featured well? Is the background clean? Did the application of the product, did it come out good? Did it look good? Plus, did you talk about your product in a nice way? Is your voice clear? The closer it looks to an ad, the better. If your script is copywritten really well, if the hook is nice and catchy, yes, this is the aesthetic and the vibe the brand is going for. Now you might ask me, if I make it look like an ad, it won't get a lot of engagement. My audience won't enjoy this kind of content because I am known for a specific kind of content. I'm not saying that all your content should follow this format. See, you need to have examples of what it would be like to work with you for a brand in your profile, right? So when your brand goes through your profile, in your top 3 or top 5 reels, if you have one of these vibes of content where a product is featured really well and it has very clean aesthetics and it is very well copywritten, the brand immediately feels like, yeah, this is a creator worth working with because they seem to know how to copyright and how to edit, how to place a product, how to highlight the product, etc., etc. If you're really keen on getting a lot of brands, I would recommend even pinning one of your previous brand collabs on your Reels tab, because that would be the first 3 reels that the brand would see when they visit your profile. If you're not okay to do that, that's absolutely fine, as long as there is, in the first 9 reels, there is some kind of a brand collab vibe for a brand to look at. You might also think that this is a lot of hard work for an organic piece of content. If you are looking to bag really good brand deals, this is absolutely non-negotiable, because brands go for relevance and they go for aesthetics. If you've never done a brand collab or you are looking to bag your first brand collab, take a brand that you would love to work with and do one creative reel free of cost for them. You can even tag them in their comments if you want, but have a sample of what a brand would get if they choose to work with you. Here's a quick summary of what we've learned till now. Brands do not really care about the follower count, but they definitely do care about your relevance and the audience that you cater to. Brands definitely look for a vibe match to see if their product look good in your profile. If you've never done a brand deal, that's okay. Try to create a collaboration reel. Like, if a brand were to collaborate with you, how would it look like? Take one of your favorite brands and maybe try to make an ad for yourself as a showcase to the brands. Whenever they visit your profile, they'll know that this is the kind of quality output that they will get if they choose to work with you. If you found anything useful in this video, do drop a like and subscribe. I will be talking about all things creators and creator ecosystem in this channel. So please subscribe, stay tuned for my next video.